Wow, this deep dive, it really is. You've sent us a ton of articles and research papers
Yeah.
on artificial general intelligence. Like
Yeah.
everything, it's amazing.
Right.
From transformer architecture
Right.
to like consciousness itself, even the quantum realm
Wow.
and AGI in warfare.
Yeah. It's a fascinating mix, and it really highlights the multifaceted nature of this topic. We're not just talking about building smarter algorithms. We're talking about redefining what it means to think, to be intelligent.
Exactly. And to kind of walk us through all of this, we have someone who's been, knee-deep in the world of AI and AGI since GPT-3. You've seen it all.
Yeah.
What stands out to you from this collection of articles?
Well, what's striking is the sheer breadth of perspectives represented. We have articles discussing the tangible advancements in machine learning, like the development of transformer models, alongside explorations of human cognition, and even quantum theories of consciousness. It's a real testament to how artificial general intelligence is pushing the boundaries of multiple disciplines.
Let's start with something that caught my eye. These articles on quantum computing.
Right.
And its potential role in AI.
Sure.
One article mentioned quantum computers demonstrating significant speedups in certain machine learning tasks. Can you break that down?
Yeah.
What makes quantum computing such a game changer?
Well, it's all about how quantum computers process information.
Right.
Unlike classical computers that use bits, which can be either a 0 or a 1,
Right.
quantum computers utilize qubits. These qubits leverage the principles of quantum mechanics, and specifically superposition, allowing them to be in multiple states, both 0 and 1, simultaneously.
Wow.
This enables them to perform computations exponentially faster than classical computers for specific problem sets.
Okay. So instead of crunching through possibilities one at a time,
Right.
a quantum computer can explore multiple paths simultaneously.
Precisely. Imagine searching for a single answer within a vast library. A classical computer would have to examine each book one by one.
Yeah.
A quantum computer, on the other hand, could, in essence, read all the books at once.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What kind of impact could this have on the development of AGI?
The implications are huge. The Quantum Magazine article highlights 2 studies where quantum computing flexed its muscles, so to speak.
Okay.
In one study, researchers demonstrated quantum algorithms outperforming classical algorithms in solving specific machine learning problems. The second study, from IBM, showed that quantum computers possess unique capabilities for data classification, exceeding the limits of classical computers. This suggests that quantum computers could supercharge the training and development of advanced AI, potentially leading to breakthroughs in areas like natural language processing, image recognition, and even scientific discovery.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But we also have this whole other layer of the conversation, the question of consciousness.
Right.
And whether true intelligence requires it.
Sure.
The article on human cognition and conscious supremacy really digs into this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a question that has philosophers and computer scientists alike scratching their heads. The article argues that while large language models, LLMs, can mimic human language and even generate creative content, they may be doing so without any genuine understanding or subjective experience. It's like a parrot mimicking human speech. It might sound impressive, but does the parrot truly grasp the meaning behind the words?
So we have these incredibly complex algorithms that can write poems, compose music, even hold conversations that seem almost human.
Right.
But there's a chance they're doing it all without actually experiencing the world as we do.
Exactly. And that distinction is crucial, especially as we venture into uncharted territory with artificial general intelligence.
Wow.
It raises ethical questions about how we interact with these increasingly sophisticated machines and the role they play in our society.
It's almost as if we're on the verge of, creating this whole new form of intelligence.
Yeah.
But we don't even, we're still figuring out what that means.
Right, absolutely. And that brings us to another, I think, layer of complexity here, which is that language itself has limitations.
Yeah.
Even if we build AGI that surpasses human capabilities in many domains, will it ever truly understand the nuances, the subtleties, the unspoken depths of human communication?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because we always, kind of equate fluency in language with intelligence.
Right.
But there's so much more to it, like you're saying.
Exactly. The article on linguistics and AI really digs into this.
Okay.
And it highlights how human language is so deeply intertwined with our actual experiences. Right. Our cultural context, our emotions. It's not just a tool for conveying information.
Right.
It's a way of being in the world, of connecting with others on a deeply human level, which I think is really
So even if an AGI can write a sonnet that rivals Shakespeare,
right.
it might not actually, like, grasp the emotions
Exactly.
that inspired those words.
Yeah,
The shared human experiences that give them their power.
precisely. And that gap,
Yeah.
that fundamental difference in understanding,
Right.
could have really significant implications,
Especially as we...
particularly as we consider,
Yeah.
the use of AGI in things like diplomacy, conflict resolution.
Right, or even just, like, everyday conversations.
Exactly.
That seems like we keep, like, circling this sort of fundamental question.
Yeah.
Can a machine truly think
Yeah.
without a brain?
Right.
Without, the biological hardware
Yeah.
and the evolutionary history that shape, our own consciousness?
Yeah. I mean, that's the million-dollar question. And these articles don't provide, like, a definitive answer.
Right.
But they offer some intriguing clues.
Okay.
For example, the paper in the PMC Journal
Yeah.
argues that certain cognitive functions might be uniquely human,
Okay.
rooted in our biological evolution
Yeah.
and our kind of embodied experience of the world.
Okay, so they're talking about things like flexible attention.
Yes.
The ability to handle novel situations.
Right.
Integrating sensory information, like all
Yeah.
these things that we just, like,
You
do,
can take for granted, yeah.
but are huge challenges, apparently, for AI.
Absolutely. And I think this is where this idea of conscious supremacy comes into play.
Okay.
Just as quantum computers might be able to solve problems that are practically impossible for classical computers,
Okay.
there might be a realm of cognitive experience that remains inaccessible to AI, no matter how sophisticated it becomes.
So even if AI becomes, like, exponentially more intelligent than us,
Right.
there might be certain aspects of human thought.
Yeah.
Or, like, depths of understanding that are just ours.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Now, whether that's truly the case remains to be seen,
Right.
but I don't know. It's a humbling thought.
It is humbling.
It's a good reminder that even as we strive to create artificial intelligence, we're still kind of unraveling the mysteries of our own mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. It's a good reminder that this isn't just a philosophical debate.
Exactly.
This has real world implications.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about, like, the potential for AGI to reshape, like, our economies,
For sure.
our societies,
Yeah,
even the very nature of warfare. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think several articles in the collection
Yeah.
really highlight those very concerns.
okay.
For instance, that interview with Eric Schmidt.
Right. The former Google CEO.
Right, the former Google CEO, exactly. He explores both the immense promise,
Right.
but also the potential kind of perils
Well.
of widespread AGI adoption.
Yeah, he talked about, like, this idea of personalized AI assistants just becoming commonplace
Right.
and almost like augmenting, human intelligence
Yeah.
in every field, which is kind of an exciting thought.
Totally.
But then on the other hand, like, he brought up some really good points about, like, job displacement,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
the spread of misinformation,
Right.
even the potential for AGI to be weaponized, which is just, like,
Absolutely. And I think that's where the conversation really takes on a sense of urgency.
Yes.
It's not just a matter of if we can create AGI, it's how can we ensure that it's developed and deployed responsibly.
and ethically.
Exactly. Ethically, responsibly, yes.
So that brings us to kind of the practicalities of it all.
Sure. Yeah.
Even if, like, hypothetically we get over all the, theoretical hurdles,
Right.
there's still, like, these immense logistical challenges, right?
Absolutely. One of the biggest hurdles is just the sheer computational power and data required to train these increasingly complex models.
Yes.
Schmidt mentions that training costs for kind of the next generation of AI could easily exceed hundreds of millions of dollars,
Wow.
with energy consumption being a major, major factor.
So it's not even just about having, like, the right algorithms.
Right.
It's about having the resources
Yes.
and the infrastructure
And the infrastructure, exactly.
to support them, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
And then you also have this question of access.
Totally. Yeah.
Will AGI be concentrated in the hands of a select few?
Yeah, like powerful corporations or governments.
Powerful corporations, governments, or will it be democratized, like Schmidt kind of suggests?
Yeah, with, like,
With AI doctors and lawyers and educators
Yeah.
available to everyone.
which would be amazing.
Right. Like the answer has profound implications for global equity
Totally.
and the future of humanity. Right.
Yeah, and we haven't even like, we haven't even really touched on, like,
Right.
AGI in warfare.
Yeah.
There was that, kind of chilling article from Science Daily about AI being used to, like, program quantum computers,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
which is like a whole other
A whole nother level.
level of cyber warfare
Yeah, for sure.
that we haven't even.
It's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
Imagine AI systems like capable of designing
Yeah.
and launching cyber attacks with just incredible sophistication
Right.
and speed that dwarfs anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
It's really
Or even developing new forms of weaponry
right.
that we haven't even,
At leveraging quantum mechanics
that we don't even understand yet.
that we can't even fathom yet.
It's a lot. It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is, and I think it just underscores like
Yeah.
the need for international cooperation
Right.
and really like well-defined ethical framework
Yeah.
to guide the development and deployment of AGI, especially in sensitive domains like warfare.
It's almost like we're at this point where, like,
Yeah.
our technological capabilities are outpacing
Right.
our ability to even understand, like, what.
Absolutely. And I think that's why these conversations are so crucial, right?
Yes,
Like by exploring these issues from multiple angles, from the philosophical underpinnings of consciousness to the very real challenges of data management and ethical development.
Right.
I think like we can start to chart a course toward a future where AGI really does benefit all of humanity.
It's a future that,
Yeah.
it feels very unknown, but it's cool that we're having this conversation at least.
Right. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really does feel like we're on the edge of something huge here.
Yeah.
Like the emergence of a new form of intelligence
Right.
that could completely change, the world as we know it.
Absolutely.
But like we've been talking about, there are so many layers to this.
Totally.
So many things we just don't know.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so captivating, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about just like, the next iPhone or something. We're talking about like fundamental questions about what is intelligence? What is consciousness?
Totally. And what does it even mean to be human,
Exactly, exactly.
And speaking of those fundamental questions, something I keep coming back to
Yeah.
is this whole quantum mechanics angle.
Right.
And it's not even just about quantum computing, right?
Sure.
It's these theories about like quantum processes actually playing a role in our own consciousness.
Yeah, yeah. Like the intersection of quantum mechanics and consciousness, that's where things get really, really interesting.
It's like where things get a little like out there,
Yeah, totally. Out there. The Journal of Cosmology article, remember that one?
Yeah.
It talks about Penrose and Hameroff's theory.
Right. The orchestrated objective reduction theory.
Or ORCH.
Or R, right?
Yeah.
Which basically says that consciousness comes from quantum computations happening inside these tiny structures in our brain cells called microtubules.
Exactly. Microtubules.
So our brains might actually be using quantum phenomena
right.
to create conscious experience.
That's wild, right?
It's like, that sounds like science fiction.
It does. But, ORCH it is still considered a bit speculative.
Right.
But more and more research is exploring these potential quantum effects in, biological systems.
Like that PBS Spacetime video you sent.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about quantum entanglement potentially happening within microtubules.
Right. So,
that's wild.
there might be actual scientific evidence
Wow.
that our brains are doing something really, really unique.
Something that our most advanced computers can't even touch right now.
Exactly. That even they can't replicate yet.
It really makes you think,
It's a huge implication
Yeah.
because if consciousness really does rely on these, super delicate
Right.
quantum processes, it could explain why it's been so hard to create it artificially.
It's like, we're trying to build a house,
Right.
but we don't even understand the fundamental physics
The basic laws of physics.
of how the materials work,
Exactly. And it also raises all these other fascinating questions too.
So
about the mind and matter.
Yeah, like what even is reality?
Exactly. What is reality at that point?
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But let's maybe bring back down to earth for a minute.
Okay, yeah.
Even if we totally ignore this whole consciousness thing for now,
Right.
there's still those practical challenges of developing AGI, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We talk about the computational power, the data requirements.
Right.
But something else that often gets overlooked is how do we even define and measure intelligence,
Right, because if we're trying to create artificial general intelligence, how do we know when we've actually achieved it?
Exactly. If we can't measure it, it's
Yeah.
like, how do we know if we've actually hit the target?
Right.
If we don't even know what the target is or where it is.
It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Yes. A moving target that we can't even see. Exactly.
It's a good analogy.
And then, of course, you have all the ethical considerations, which,
Oh, right.
those just get more and more complex.
Especially when we're talking about something that could be potentially smarter than us.
Exactly. When you're talking about AGI that surpasses human intelligence, like, how do we make sure...
How do we control it, even?
How do we control it? How do we make sure that it's aligned with human values?
Right, because its values might be completely different.
It can be totally different, yeah.
How do we prevent, like, these unintended consequences?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. These are questions we need to be asking, like, now.
Right.
Not after the fact.
Not after it's too late, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
I think the overall theme here
Yeah.
is that we're standing on the edge of something really, really momentous.
Yeah, a technological revolution unlike anything we've ever seen.
Exactly. We've talked about, all these potential benefits. Like in medicine and material science, like it could change everything.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand,
There are some, pretty unsettling potential downsides, too.
it's like this weird mix of excitement, but also this like
Apprehension.
apprehension. Yeah. Like, are we,
A little bit of fear?
yeah, a little fear was like, are we
Yeah.
creating the thing that takes over?
Right. Which I think is totally valid. And that's why I think these conversations, like what we're doing right now, are so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the development of AGI really does have the potential to be
It's a big turning
a
point.
huge turning point, for good or for bad.
And it really depends on the choices that we make.
Exactly. The choices we're making right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to kind of like wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, I think so, too.
We've explored the nature of intelligence, the mysteries of consciousness.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty deep.
We've talked about all the challenges, the possibilities.
And I think even if we don't have all the answers, right,
We're asking the right questions.
we're asking the right questions. Exactly.
That's a good start.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you with this one final thought.
Okay.
In a future that is going to be shaped by artificial general intelligence,
Right.
what is it going to mean to be human? That's something we'll all have to figure out together.
100%. Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
That's the question.